In 2016, Toyota came out with an all-new third-generation model of its popular mid-size Tacoma pickup. This is my 2016 TRD Off-Road Double Cab Long Bed model. Prior generations of the Tacoma were available in a regular cab, access cab, or double cab configuration, but with the third generation, they dropped the option of the regular cab, and it's now only available in the access cab or double cab configuration. With the access cab, you get a standard 6-foot bed, and with the double cab model, you have your choice of a 5-foot short bed or a 6-foot long bed. In terms of the overall styling on the vehicle, it sees a really nice update from what we saw in the second generation. The outline of the vehicle is still very similar. Likewise, the proportions are very similar, but it's got a much more muscular look to it and a more athletic stance. With my truck, I've also done a number of aftermarket modifications, and so as we walk around, I'll go over those changes. Starting up here at the front of the vehicle, you'll see that the grille is quite a bit larger than what we had with the second generation. Likewise, the grille is available in a number of different configurations depending on the trim package that you choose. This is actually the grille that you get with the TRD Pro model, and so this looks a little bit different from what it looked like coming off the lot when it was new. You'll see that the headlights also see a really nice update from the second generation, a much more modern design. We've got the projector beams, and we've also got the LED strip on the upper trim packages. 2020 and newer models also see an updated headlight design. Down below, we've got integrated fog lights. You'll see that I've got a hidden winch back behind the bumper. And then you'll see that the bumper kind of juts out in the middle as well. Likewise, the second generation model had a hood mounted antenna. That's now gone, and you'll see that we've got it mounted on the back of the cab. And then you'll see that the hood, along with the grille here, has got a nice bulge in the center and a few other accent lines. We've got 2 in the middle, 2 on the outside, just giving it a little bit of character. And then again, coming to the side profile of the truck, very similar to what we saw with that second gen in terms of the overall outline. The big difference that you see here is that it's got bulging fenders at the front and the rear. You'll see that likewise on the more higher end trim packages, we've got the integrated blinker here on the side. We've also got blind spot monitoring. This will light up when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. And then the third generation Tacoma is also available in quite a few different trim packages. With that, a number of different wheel options, much more variability than what we saw with the second generation. Again, mine has been modified aftermarket, so I've got a set of 17-inch VTX Rogue wheels, Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs, and a 285/70 R17. And then I've got the Icon Stage 2 lift kit. So the front of my truck is sitting up about 2¼ inches from the factory height, and then the rear of the vehicle is sitting up about 1½ inches. At the rear of the vehicle, the Icon Stage 2 setup has an add-a-leaf. I didn't get the full advertised 1½ inches of lift, so I've got a combination of the Icon add-a-leaf and a 1-inch Toyota block. Coming around to the back of the vehicle, you'll see that rear window here opens in the middle, and we've got an LED light mounted on the cab up there. Coming around to the back, a lot of style here on the tailgate. It's got the Tacoma lettering embossed across the bottom here. We've got an infused spoiler there on the back, updated taillight design, and then you'll see with my truck, we've also got the integrated parking sensors. These will beep to notify you if you get close to an object. Back here at the license plate, we've got electrical connection for the trailer hitch, 2 different styles. Hitch down below. All around, you can see a really great looking update that we get with the third generation. As much as the second generation Tacoma definitely looked good and will go down as a classic, third generation again just has a much more muscular appearance to it, a more premium style. It really is a very attractive vehicle all around. The third generation Tacoma is available in 6 different trim package configurations, starting off with the base SR model. The SR is pretty well stripped down and a great option if you're looking to get into affordable new Tacoma or you just want a basic truck without a bunch of gadgets. Next up is the SR5, which offers a nicer appearance and a much nicer level of standard options. If you don't care about having a hood scoop or some of the off-road features available on the Tacoma like multi-terrain select, crawl control, and a locking differential, the SR5 is probably the place to be, especially if you plan on making modifications to suspension, wheels, and tires. Other models see upgrades to these components but also cost more. If you're going to replace them anyway, there's a lot to be said for saving your money on a less expensive SR5 and using those savings towards upgrades. Next is the TRD Sport and TRD Off-Road trim package. Both of these offer a few appearance upgrades and a nicer level of standard tech features and a few unique items. The Sport has a hood scoop and 17-inch sport wheels. The TRD Off-Road has the multi-terrain select traction control system. It's got crawl control and a locking rear differential. It's also got a unique set of 16-inch wheels with Kevlar reinforced tires and additional skid plates. The Tacoma is also available in a limited trim package, which has a number of chrome accents on the exterior, unique 18-inch polished wheels, and is loaded with luxury and tech features inside. The top of the line model in the Tacoma lineup is the TRD Pro, which has everything. It's got a hood scoop and TRD Pro specific front fascia. It's got a unique wheel and tire package, upgraded Fox shocks, and the interior comes loaded with luxury and tech features. It has multi-terrain select, crawl control, and locking differential. On top of all of that, the TRD Pro is offered each year in a unique color option not available in the rest of the Tacoma lineup. Currently, that's Army Green. My Tacoma is equipped with a smart key, so if I've got this key in my pocket or on my body somewhere, we've got automatic locking and unlocking. You see we've got these two grooves here on the door handle. If I tap those, it will lock the doors. Likewise, if I put my hand on the door handle, you can hear it unlock. And then we've also got push button start, so if the key is in the vehicle, you can push this button here to activate the ignition. You'll see that the interior of the Tacoma is very nice. Third generation sees a really nice upgrade from the second gen. Nice level of standard options and features, a much more modern look. And we've got a really nice level of available options as well. This again is the TRD Off-Road model, so it's kind of a mid-level trim package. And then for the TRD Off-Road, this truck is basically fully equipped. My only real gripe is that when this truck was new, the TRD Off-Road wasn't available with leather seats. That's since changed. And then a lot of people complain that the Tacoma wasn't available with power seats until 2020. This truck's got power windows, power door locks, and power mirrors. Also got a JBL premium audio system. 2 cup holders integrated into the door here. To the left of the steering column, got controls here for the cab light above the bed. I've also got a power inverter in the bed. This button is used here to activate that. On the steering wheel, we've got audio controls on the left-hand side, Bluetooth down here in the bottom left. Upper right, we've got controls for settings on the center LCD screen. Left-hand side, we've got our tachometer and temperature gauge. Right-hand side, we've got a speedometer and fuel gauge. Go ahead and jump in and turn on the ignition here. I'd say one of the nicest upgrades on the third generation model is this new head unit. It's very large and a really nice functional setup. You'll see that we're currently on the audio screen. We've got AM, FM radio, XM radio, CD, USB connection. We've got Bluetooth audio. There's also an auxiliary connection. And then there's also some apps that you can download on the vehicle. Go to the app screen here. You'll see we've got navigation, again, audio, phone, messages, weather, traffic, vehicle settings. You can see your eco information. And then you'll see we've got a number of those additional apps. Click on the home screen here. This is one of my favorite things. This screen you can configure to your preference. You can have a number of different items on this screen. You'll see that I've got it configured with fuel economy information in the upper left. 4 of my favorite contacts here. You can call these contacts with the push of a single button. And then on the right hand side, we've got our navigation. Other cool thing is that on the navigation, for example, if I just tap on that, it will go full screen. So pretty cool overall setup. Press that home button to go back to the normal setting there. You'll see we've got our CD integrated up above here. Down below, we've got heated seats for driver and front passenger. We've also got dual zone climate control for driver and front passenger, and then we've got heat and air conditioning. Electronically controlled 4-wheel drive system with rear wheel drive, and then a 4 low and high option. Heated mirrors, blind spot monitoring that's integrated into the mirrors. We've got an electronically controlled transmission, so you can use this button to turn that on. We've got parking sensors on the rear bumper. Right here we've got that USB connection and auxiliary connection. And then we've also got wireless charging. If we push this button here and you've got a wireless capable phone, you can tap or set it down right here and it will charge that wirelessly. And then you'll see we've got a 12-volt outlet right there. 2 cup holders in the middle. Got the automatic transmission, emergency brake, 2 more cup holders, and then a pretty spacious center console, 2 more cup holders in the rear. Up above, we've got a self-dimming rear view mirror. And then, because this is the TRD off-road model, it's also equipped with multi-terrain select and crawl control. So these settings are used for that. We've got traction control. You can turn that off with this button. And then we've also got a locking rear differential with the TRD off-road model. And then up above, we've got our sunroof. It is tilt and sliding. And then we've got a couple of reading lights. And here's a look at the back seat of the Tacoma. Again, we've got the 2 cup holders in the center, and then we've also got cup holders integrated into both driver and passenger side doors. These seats do fold up in a 60-40 split, so we can pull that up, and down below we've got compartments on both sides. You can store several items in, and then we can also drop down the seat back, and likewise a little bit of storage space back here. Coming around to the back of the Tacoma, you'll see that it's got a soft close tailgate, so that drops down nice and soft. And then I've got the Tacoma OEM tonneau cover, really nice feature for securing things in the back of the truck. You see that folds up in 3 sections. And then back here we've got that power inverter, this little compartment here. And then likewise we've got another compartment over here on this side. And then they've got this little rail system with these hooks on the sides, and you'll see we've got a few other hooks down below. The 3rd generation Tacoma is available with 2 different engine options. The base engine is a 2.7 liter 4-cylinder with 159 horsepower and 180 pound-feet of torque. That was paired to either a 5-speed manual or 6-speed automatic in early years. More recently, it's only available with the automatic transmission. With that powertrain configuration, you'll see a 0 to 60 time of about 10.2 seconds. Max tow capacity is 3,500 pounds, and the EPA rating is 19 to 20 miles per gallon in the city and 22 to 23 miles per gallon on the highway. My truck's got the more powerful 3.5 liter V6, which sees a bump to 278 horsepower and 265 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to either a 6-speed manual or 6-speed automatic transmission. Oddly enough, the manual transmission is not available on double cab long bed models. With this powertrain configuration, you'll see a 0 to 60 time of 7.9 seconds. Max tow capacity goes up to 6,800 pounds, and the EPA rating is 17 to 18 miles per gallon in the city and 20 to 24 miles per gallon on the highway. So as you've seen, Toyota did a lot to update the Tacoma for 2016. We've got a really nicely updated interior. Likewise, the exterior of the vehicle sees a really nice refresh. We've got new powertrains with new engines, new transmissions. But one thing that they didn't do to update the Tacoma for 2016 was change the suspension. It's basically a carryover from what we saw in the 2nd generation model. And as a result, the 3rd generation Tacoma basically drives like a 10-year-old truck. And that's not all bad, because the 2nd generation wasn't a bad starting point, but I wouldn't say that the 3rd generation Tacoma is as smooth as some of the other full-size trucks and SUVs that are on the market today. The other thing I'm not really crazy about with the 3rd generation Tacoma is that although it's got disc brakes at the front, it's got drum brakes at the rear. And so when you're coming to a stop, you can feel the vehicle kind of shimming to a stop. Braking isn't all that impressive. Toyota will tell you that they do it for off-road capability, but what I'm not real sure about is that I've got a 2017 4Runner, which is likewise very off-road capable, and it's got disc brakes at the rear. So I'm not really sure why they wouldn't carry those over to the Tacoma as well. Steering feel is pretty good in the Tacoma, and just all around, it's a very easy vehicle to drive. I like the fact that the Tacoma is a mid-size. It's not as big and bulky as some of the other full-size trucks that are out there on the market, but it still has a pretty muscular feel driving down the road. We've got a pretty decent tow capacity, and then likewise, when you've got it equipped with the long bed like my truck, it's got a pretty decent amount of space in the back as well. Although for 2016 we get a new 3.5 liter V6 that's more powerful, it's got more horsepower, more torque, and better fuel economy than the 4 liter V6 that we had in the 2nd generation model, you're going to find that the automatic transmission really holds this vehicle back. A lot of times it feels like the transmission is in a low gear when it should be in a high gear, or it's in a high gear when it should be in a low gear. you also find that it surges around quite a bit when you're driving up a constant grade. And as a result, pulling onto the highway, passing vehicles, going over a mountain pass, all of those situations just feels like the vehicle is really struggling. I'd say that's my biggest gripe about the third generation Tacoma, and I'd say that it's probably the most common complaint that you're going to hear from other Tacoma owners as well. You'll hear that as we're going up the hill here, that the transmission is just kind of surging around, although I'm not accelerating or slowing down. It just kind of loses all of its momentum, and then it's got to rev up really high, revs up until you get up to speed, then it drops back down and just kind of goes through this game over and over again. Fortunately, I use my vehicle primarily in town. I think if I were using this vehicle for highway driving and I was going to spend a lot of time on interstates, I think it would just absolutely drive me crazy. I would definitely recommend that if you're looking to get into a third generation Tacoma, that you consider getting the manual transmission. Unfortunately though, that was not an option for me when I got my truck, because the Tacoma is not available in a double cab long bed with the manual transmission. Now, despite a few little gripes with the third generation Tacoma, overall I think it's a really solid vehicle when it comes to the overall driving experience. And one of the great things about the Tacoma is that although it doesn't get great fuel economy, it doesn't have a ton of power, ride quality isn't all that amazing, what this vehicle is all about is reliability, durability, and simplicity. And there's something really nice about the fact that this truck is just so simple and so solid. And I think that I can really kind of forgive some of those shortcomings that you get with the Tacoma because it's so good in those other capacities. Pricing on the Tacoma varies significantly from the base SR model, which starts at about $26,000, all the way up to the TRD Pro, which starts at about $50,000. Within that range, there's quite a few options to configure the Tacoma to suit your personal needs. All around, it's a really solid truck, very attractive inside and out, pretty good overall ride quality. Tacomas have a legendary reputation for long-term reliability and durability, and they've got some of the best resale value of any vehicle on the market. If you have any comments or questions on the Tacoma, leave them in the section below. For more car and truck reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.